Welcome to part 36 of the Kyuck series. In this episode, we're going to be looking at a technique called Kyuck, also known as the spear hand. Now, this is an advanced technique that usually teach round about orange green belt as they're going forward, as it's used in the green belt form Pyang. So with that being said, make sure that you're at the correct level before attempting this technique. To warm up, you basically need to know one thing and one thing alone: the area of the body that you're striking with, and that is with your first three fingers, and they are aligned together. So usually the middle finger will slightly protrude and come out, and for this technique you have to bring it in. Now, this takes students a while to do, so there's a number of ways that you can improve this, but make sure that while you're doing the Kyuck that your three fingers together, not the finger pointing. So the way to think about it is like a center punch. Instead of your hand being a fist, it's going to be a spear hand. Now, just to quickly say, there are three classic ways to do the spear hand. There is the horizontal way to the throat. There is the vertical way, which is most common, to the solar plexus, and there is the diagonal way to the groin. Today I'm going to be looking at the classic vertical way, but just know that it can be horizontal or vertical depending on where you're striking. So your hand shoots out with the thumb up vertically with the three fingers together, as I mentioned earlier, and instead of your hand pulling back like a classic punch, your hand is going to fold and then come underneath your elbow. Now, this is a little bit different to students when they're first learning. So the way that you're clearing the limbs down to make a space and then putting your hand directly underneath the elbow. The saying goes that if you touch your own body, that is where you're touching your partner. So you move the elbow out of the way to clear, or you're striking towards the elbow area. Practice stepping forward and stepping back first. Try it on both sides, and when you have it there, try walking forward with it. A very good technique to sort of complement it is the Chundan Suramaki into twisting middle knife hand block into twist spear hand. Works nicely because you can imagine blocking, folding the arm over, and then striking forward. Common mistakes that I see are obviously people not peeling the finger back. So the best way to do is to test it, and we'll look at that later. But again, just think three fingers together at all times. Don't let that finger protrude because you're not thinking about what you're striking. This technique takes a long time to condition to be able to strike something, and it's only to be designated towards soft areas, so don't strike anything harder there, but we'll look at that later. The next common mistake is the fingers of the opposite hand protruding out to the side. So basically you're giving your fingers a target. Make sure that the fingers end with the arm, and like they say when you're on a ride, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle, keep your fingers inside your square of striking area. Don't let the fingers go too wide or expose the whole hand. The final common mistake is the hand not coming forward in a punching motion. Sometimes I see the arm chopping down, and this is a lack of understanding of how you're striking and the way you're striking. So don't bring the arm straight down like a chop. Make sure it comes straight through like a punching motion. Once you feel you have the technique down, it's always important to test it. The biggest one is conditioning of the fingers, which you're not used to. So the main way I say to people is to put your three fingers together and strike something softly. This could be a pillow, a sofa, even a pad. You can work up to a makawara board if you're over 16. Also, a good partner drill to do is to strike into each other's solar plexus. So a drill we often do in class is your partner breathes in to the stomach, pushes the solar plexus out, and as they breathe out, the other person strikes to the solar plexus to get this last breath out. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 drill. It improves students' breathing and understanding of how to breathe to get the last breath out, and also a conditioning drill. And you just go back and forth. You could do it with your eyes closed if you want, so you don't know the strike is coming. Just a little bit of conditioning for the solar plexus, and also helps out with the three fingers. Another thing that I would say that other people do is finger push-ups and finger conditioning. I have hyperlex joints, so I don't do that myself, so I can't recommend it to anyone that it has benefit. The next drill is what I like to think of the spear hand not only being a striking weapon, it can also have other elements to it. One of the biggest ones is as a palm strike or even a takedown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a little drill taken straight from the application from Pyang, where you block the strike on the inside and then wrap the person over and take them down to the floor using the spear hand motion, but you're not striking with the 3 fingers now, you're palm striking across the face or even hitting the shoulder and turning them as a takedown. So that's drill 1, and that's on the inside of the body. The third drill now is if you can get onto the outside of the body, where you still do the Chundan Suramaki like we talked about earlier, complements it. You grab the hand as you pull it in and then fold over, and this time instead of your opposite hand hitting their elbow, your spear hand runs across their elbow into an arm lock. You stepping on the outside of the body, blocking it, grabbing the hand this time, pulling it in, and instead of your hand underneath your own elbow, their elbow is underneath your arm, but it's still in the Kwang Su motion to understand it. So thank you very much for watching that tutorial on the spear hand, the Kwang Su. It is a very complicated technique with many applications. I've just gone through basic ones now that would apply to green belts, but we might come back and revisit this technique, especially for the bit Kwang Su, as it's got quite different applications. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel and comment below about other techniques you'd like to see. Thanks.